All, welcome back to Educate Zillites, a YouTube channel that is providing you the best material to learn and improve yourself in technology. So today is a new topic that is variables in C. It's the second part of the playlist C programming language. Today we will going to learn what is variable in C programming language. So today we will going to cover the agenda: variables, rules for defining variables, valid variables versus invalid variables, types of variables. In the third part, we will see the difference between valid and invalid. In the second part, we will see the rules for defining the variables. And the fourth one is the types of variables. So, variables. A variable is a name of the memory location. It is used to store data. Its value can be changed and it can be used many times. So, the variable is simply a name of the memory location. We define a memory location here. We store that we store in that location a data. Its value can be changed and can be reused as many times. Fine. It's a way to represent memory location through symbol. It's an identifier to represent the memory location so that it can be easily identified. Fine. Now let's see the syntax to declare a variable. Here is the type. Variable list means in the type you need to write the type of the variable that you are going to define. Suppose you are typing the int. So suppose you want to store some integers 0 to 9, something else. So for that you need to define here int and the variable list. In place of this you need to define anything like int a, b, sum, for example, like this, and semicolon is mandatory here. So here see, here ABC are variables. The int, float, char are the data types, declaring the variables as given below. So as I told in the last slide, this is the syntax of defining the variable or declaring. This is the syntax of defining the variable and this is the syntax of declaring the variable. Fine. You need to write the whole spelling in a small case, fine, in the lower case. So int a, float b, char c. Char c is the one who takes characters, int a who takes integers, float b who takes decimals value. So here see, int a equals to 10, b equals to 20. In the comments we have written declaring two variables of integer type. So here we have declared two variable. First is A and second is B, which is going to take the value of 10 and 20 respectively. Second one is float. In the float, we have declared the variable name is F. His float is a data type, F is the name of the data type. Fine is equals to 20.8. Char C, in char C we have defined A. At the time of defining declaring character, you need to be mentioned that character, that particular character, in a single semicolon. Fine. So this is the syntax to defining your variable or declaring your variable. Here are the rules for defining variables. First one is a variable can have alphabets, digits, and underscore. It means we can take the combination of alphabets, digits, and underscore. Second one is a variable name can start with the alphabet and underscore only. It can't start with the digits. We cannot start our variable name with a digit. We can start with alphabet or underscore only. No white space is allowed within the variable name. No space, we cannot define any variable name with this space. Space is not used in this programming language. In any kind of programming language, space is not used. This is not an identifier word. So here is completely mentioned that no white space is allowed. Last one is a variable name must not be any reserved word or keyword. Means reserved word are those words that is already reserved by C programming language. For example, int, float, double, char. So these are the words we cannot define our variable name with these words as this is reserved by the programming language. So here's the difference between valid variable versus invalid variable. Now I can hope that you understand the rules of defining valid variables. So you can easily identify which one is valid and which one is invalid and what is the reason behind that. Fine. So valid variables is this int a, as we can define our variables with characters. Invalid is int 2. As we have noticed in the previous slide, we cannot define our variables with only digits. Here is the second one, which is int underscore ab. So this is valid variable. And here int a white space b. We have noticed in the previous slides that no white space is allowed in the defining of variable. Int a30 is this is valid variable. Int long, this is not the valid variable because long is the reserved keyword by C programming language or many programming languages. Fine. I hope you understand this slide. Here are the types of variables. So we have local variable, we have global variables, we have static variable, we have automatic variable, we have external variable. These all are the type of variable, and it is mainly used in every programming language. The role of this variable is very much important. So I'm going to post a video on individual types of this variable so that you can understand in a better way. Here are the local variable. Fine. A variable that is declared inside the function or block. Fine. So local variable is the one variable which is defined inside the block of a function. It must be declared at the start of the block. Just after the block is started, it is declared here. It means this is the correct position of declaring your local variable. We have just defining a function, that is void function1 parenthesis curly braces, and inside the curly braces the first line should be our local variable int x equals to 10. Fine. So this is the basic identification of the local variable. Second one is the global variable. So a variable that is declared outside the function or block is called a global variable. Any function can change the value of the global variable. It is available to all the functions. It must be declared at the start of the block. Fine. So the global variable are the ones who declared outside the block. Suppose we are defining a block that is void function1. Inside the block, we have defining the int x equals to 10, that is local. But outside, we have defined value equals to 20. Fine, it's a global variable. Now the second line saying that we can change the value of global variable in its function. Suppose here we are adding our value. Here we are adding x in our value. So we can change the value inside the function. Suppose here we are writing inside this block, suppose value equals to 30. So in that way, we can change the value 30 in that particular block, and in the other block, we can change the value. Fine. So it is declared here that we can, any function can change the value of the global variable, but we cannot change the local variable outside the block because the outside the block local variable can't be accessed. Static variable. A variable that is declared with the static keyword is called static variable. It retains its values between multiple function calls. If you call this function many times, the local variable will print the same value for each function call, and so on. Suppose here is a function that is function1 int x equals to 10, that is local variable. Here we are declaring static int y equals to 10. So this is simply a static variable. Fine. Here we are operating something x equals to x plus 1. X value is 10, so 10 plus 1 is 11. So here x equals to 11, y equals to 10 plus 1, that is also 11. So here we just need to print 11 and 11. So example 11, 11, 11 and so on. But the static variable will print incremented value in each function call. Example 11, 12 and 13. So once we have increment this value of static variable, it is defined and declared for the whole program. Fine. If you define the variable, if you call this function 2 to 3 times, then this local variable is defined every time when you are calling this function. But the static one is defining once, and it is declared one for the whole program, and it will run every time. Means this static variable is work as a loop here. It will increment every time, but this stand will not increment. This will always print 11, 11 and 11, but this will print 11, 12 and 13 because static is the one keyword that is declared once. We do not need to declare it every time. That's why we use static keyword before our variable, defining the variable. Fine. I hope you are getting by this point. If you are not getting this point, just do the comment. Uh, t- uh, uh, Tell me your problem, where you are facing this issue. I will post one more video for you guys. So the third is automatic variable. Fine. All variables in C that are declared inside the block are automatic variables by default. We can explicitly declare an automatic variable using auto keyword. Void main index, that is local variable, and it is also an automatic variable. Fine, it is by default automatic variable, or if you want to declare it completely, so we can use here auto keyword to declare automatic variable. It is nothing, there is no difference, there is no big major difference between automatic and local variable. So these are the external variable. We can share a variable in multiple C source files by using an external variable. To declare an external variable, you need to use extern keyword. Fine. So external variable we can use in a multiple C source file by using an external value. Fine. So we can share a variable in multiple C source files using this external variable. So for this, the syntax of external variable is extern int x equals to 10. So this is the basic syntax of external variable, which is also called global, as we can share this variable in multiple C source files. So here we are defining our header files, myfile.h. This is mandatory for the external variable. Include stdi.h, void print value is the function name, and here we are printing global variable %d global variable. Fine. So here we are just printing our variable. Fine. So you just need to remember that external variable are those. If we want to share our variable in multiple C source file, we use the keyword extern. So thank you guys. This is all about this video. I hope you are getting this concept of variables, types of variables, and rules for defining the variables. In that case, global and local are the most important ones, and it is used in every program. So I hope guys you have cleared this concept. If you are facing some issue, please do comment about your issue. I will post one more video, and please guys do like, subscribe, comments on my YouTube channel. Thank you for this video.